It's 4:35. I was waiting for the exact moment, and I think that we can start. Małgorzata, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you for this introduction and a warm welcome to everyone. I'm happy that we can meet today to discuss the results of the Erasmus Plus project, Teachers' Wellbeing in the Times of Crisis. As my colleague told you, that 4 countries are participating in this project, Austria, Greece, Poland, and Turkey. From our side, from Poland, this is the University of Warsaw, the project leader, with the partners from the city of Warsaw and the in-service teacher training institution. In case of Austria, this is the University of Innsbruck. In case of Greece, the in-service teacher training development professional development institution in Livadia, represented by Vassilis Sakkas. And in case of Turkey, it's necessary to present our partners from Turkey, from Mersin, Gulcan Taner, and from Konya, Emrah Kocak. Excuse me. Okay, as a first part of our meeting, I would like to present the main findings of our diagnostic research, because it was the basis for others activities concerning the preparation of the model of teachers' supportive well-being, the application, and the main results of our research. So let me now sharing the screen. I would like to say about the main results concerning the first part of our project related to diagnosis of the burnouts and burnout and burdens concerning the teachers, the participants in our project in these different countries. But from the beginning, give me a place for better understanding the main notions and first of all the profession of the teacher, because when we are thinking about the profession, about the identity of the teacher's profession, we can describe this problem using 4 categories: expert value, the content of professional identity, professional autonomy, and the social status of the profession. From the theoretical point of view, in using these different elements, we can define and we can describe this kind of the profession, which is very important from the social point of view, using these elements. So expert value, this is the recognition of the role and importance of competences, as well as the contribution of knowledge and skills of people performing and the impact of the society. The content of professional identity, it means the knowledge and excuse me, I close my presentation to describe the elements very important for the understanding better the teacher's profession. The last one, last one, this is professional autonomy and social status of the profession. So the last one, this is something like a prestige, like a recognition concerning the economic status and the influence and social impact of this profession. I think this is the first element for reflection. How do you identify in your countries the teacher's profession using these different categories? Among them, very important is the autonomy. So in case of the autonomy, you can, on the left side, you can see the main elements, but in case of the teaching profession, we can, we can see the four elements. The ability to develop personal skills, the ability to take control in educational process, the right to freedom from the external control, and very important, the self-governance. The main notions in our project and very important elements, this is the well-being. In defining well-being, we found various approaches, from general descriptions to more detailed ones. The classical Bakker's model is particularly significant due to the specific nature of the teacher's profession. An individual's occupational well-being is determined by the balance between the job demands and the job resources. So when we are thinking about this different aspects concerning the burdens and burnout in this profession, this is the break of this balance and the situation that in the functioning of the teachers, we can observe the situations related to the stress, to the stressful, and the result of this long-term burdens, stressful, this is the risk factor for illness, professional burnout, reduced work efficiency, and disengagement. In contrast, teachers with high level of well-being are more engaged in their work, support students' well-being, and foster better relationship with them. In case of our research, in this first part, it was very important to create the following questions. What are the burden factors in the teacher's profession? How much do teachers perceive them as burdensome? And what type of support for teachers' well-being is most effective in education, and how can it be implemented in school? In the beginning of this discussion, I would like to show you two tables and two data concerning the situation in our country. I implemented also Wales because in the previous project that we participated, it was the example of the very interesting social campaign in Wales concerning the promotion of the participation in young people, the recruitment of the young people to teacher profession. So that is why I implemented Wales. But what is interesting for us, this is the situation in these four countries. So as you see from this table, in case of Greece and the Poland, we have oldest staff. Only 6% in Poland of teachers are under 30 years old. In case of Austria, we can observe the little changes, positive changes. So decreased staff age has decreased by 2 years since 2018. And in Turkey, this is the youngest teaching staff in the comparison in average age in our countries. And second, information dynamics of staff changes from 2018 to 2024. And this dynamics concerning the percentage of teachers with up to 5 years of experience. So in case of Poland, you can observe decrease In case of Austria, a little bit increase the younger people in this up to 5 years of experience. In case of Greece, this is a stable situation. In case of Turkey, a little decrease, but the high percentage of the teachers with up to 5 years of experience. In case of our research, the main methods are following. So we used the surveys, teachers' well-being treat questionnaire prepared for this research, and OLBI, the well-known questionnaire, Oldenburg Burnout Inventory concerning measuring the burnout. This questionnaire, as you know, has the national certification application, so it was easier for us to using in this international studies and participation in different countries. And last one, focus group interview. So we have the part of the research on the quantitative paradigm and in the qualitative paradigm. Research study was between May and June 2024. Here you can see the number of the participants from each of this country. In case of Poland, it was more than 400 respondents. In case of other countries, approximately 200 or more than 200 respondents. And now I would like to briefly present selected research findings on the basis of the research concerning Polish example, but we can, of course, add something which is the comparison concerning different countries. So statistical analysis of the answers for the survey, it was more than 35 statements, and the participant should use these statements in the survey. Statistical analysis of the survey responses allowed for the identification of 5 key areas of occupational burdens or stress reported by teachers. Macro social level related to the system of education, relationship at school, relationships with parents, classroom management and organization, and teaching conditions. This table shows the average scores, highlighting which type of occupational burden and was rated highest on average. The most burdensome, as you see, this is the macrosocial level. On the second place, the relationships with parents. On the third, classroom management and organization and teaching conditions as a whole. And while the least burdensome is the relationships at school. But of course, in each of these dimensions, we can identify the different factors related to the burdensome and the stressful consequences concerning the functioning at school. I would like to very shortly present the elements which is important in these different dimensions. So in this chart, you can see the ranking of detailed responses in selected dimensions of burdens. The blue line, the blue bar, represents the frequency of occurrence of this negative phenomenon in a given school, while the yellow line reflects the teacher's subjective assessment of how burdensome it is. In the dimension of the educational system, this first one, the most common and particularly burdensome difficulties concern the social status of the teaching profession. So these include, above all, economic issues, the lack of proper social recognition, as well as the absence of the sense of stability resulting from frequent changes in educational law. Another important problem is the low motivation for professional development, which is linked both to limited opportunities for career advancement and to insufficient systemic support. In case of the second dimension concerning the relationships with parents, in this dimension, particularly burdensome are the high, often excessive expectations of parents towards teachers and the school, combined with insufficient involvement in their children's upbringing and limited interest in school activities. Also, less frequent tensions in a relationship, but if this kind of the burdensome is present, is very not difficult burdensomeness for these participants. And third, concerning the school management, here the most burdensome factors are the deep immersion of students in the digital world, limited attention span, lack of motivation to learn, and classroom noise related to lesson activities and difficulties students face to establishing social relationship. In case of this factor, this dimension, classroom management, also very important is a lack of satisfactory educational outcomes in opinion, in the perspective of our respondents. Also, students experience various forms of classroom violence. In case of others dimensions, I think about the organization of the working conditions and the relationships inside the school between the teachers and between the principal and teachers. In case of our results, we can observe the dominant burdens concerns the diverse skills and needs of students and the necessity to individualization, difficult working conditions, overtime, and the limited influence teachers have on what happened at school. In the area of relationships inside school, the occurrence of burdens is less frequent. However, when they do arise, they are perceived as particularly burdensome and difficult to endure. Now, the results of the research concerning the average results between these four countries, so our all partners in this project. So most frequent reported overload factors are like following. So lack of breaks, like poor infrastructure, pressure from management, bureaucracy, emotional demands in the classroom. In case of perceived positive aspects of school leadership, in our countries, the following elements are more important. So clear expectations, support for teachers in different ways. The situation that the teacher is in the quiet, safe situation, not alone, faced to different problems. And this support will be related, can be related with other teachers and also in the relationship with the principal. Positive communication. So we are creating at school the society which is supportive. And last one, fair assessment. So this kind of relationship is related to principal and teachers' communication aspects. Main obstacles in teachers' daily work, common for our countries, this is administrative burden, limited resources, lack of breaks, and unclear role of the teachers. So lack of detailed and precisely described the elements concerning the obligations. So sometimes we are in our country we are talking about the mission in that our profession, this is the mission, but in this notion is an open space for a lot of new advantages, new challenges created, and very often obstacles and burdens for the teachers without limitation. Here you can see the few examples of the results concerning the burnout and the answer for some questions in these different countries. First one, sometimes I feel tired before I even get to work. In case of the results, you can see the quite similar situation in Austria, Greece, and Turkey. More than 70% of respondents agree or strongly disagree in this sentence. In case of Poland, 95%. This is the positive answer for this question. Next, after work, I need more time than I use to relax and feel better. The answer for these questions, I have started speaking about my job in an increasingly negative way. So in case of this element of burnout, we can find the results. In case of Greece is approximately 42%. In case of Poland, 60%, and comparable results in case of Austria and Turkey. So half of the participants accepted this sentence and element of the diagnosis of burnout. And now the recommendations. So the results of this research, it was the basis for creating the set of recommendations. And you can see different elements of that. So first of all, we understood that the teachers need the emotional and psychological support for in their activity, professional activity. Very important is also the better workload management, investing in teachers' well-being and work-life balance. This is a next important recommendation. Strengthening stress resilience by introducing a psychological support system for working teachers. Introducing of organizational solutions to strengthen teachers' well-being. For example, allocation of rest periods at school, introducing of quiet areas, strengthening horizontal relationships between teachers, and strengthening the position of teachers in relations with parents, development of communication and negotiating skills using the potential of both entities and in the process of upbringing. I think that it's very important also when I trying to discuss about this problem in my country to increase very important element. This is the recognition to the teacher's profession and increase the economic and socioeconomic status of this profession. And one of the elements, it can be the social campaign, positive social campaign concerning this profession and promotion when we are thinking about the young candidates and the new candidates, novice teachers in this field. The final result of this diagnosis, it was the creation of the teacher training program modules, and related to this training modules, the guide concerning the 5 elements: physical well-being, mental and emotional well-being, social support and relationships, work-life balance and boundaries, and professional development and career growth. The content of these modules will be the basis of preparation, the application, well-being app application. And thank you for attention concerning my part of presentation, and I give the floor to Vassilis Sakkas for presenting the application.
Good afternoon. Give me 1 second, please, to prepare my screen. Okay, so in work package 4, we had to develop a mobile application, and we did it. The name of this mobile application is Wellbeing Plus. It is available on Play Store and App Store as well. So you can download it from there. And let's see what's the main functionality of this mobile application. When we start, we can see that the application supports 5 languages: English, Greek, Turkey, Deutsch, and Polish. So the first question is, are you ready to reduce your stress, build lasting habits, and achieve your goals? Let's start with English language. And here, the first thing is you have to choose your country, your institution. This meaning in Greek language means, for example, pre-primary school or primary school or secondary school or university students, etc. So let's say secondary school. And of course, I confirm that my profile information is accurate and consent to the use of my personal data in line with the private policy. Now I have 2 options. I can register with my email, or I can connect with social media like Google account or with Facebook. Let's say I want to continue with the Google account. Can you see it? No, eh? 1 moment, please. Okay. So this is the main screen of the application. Our goal was to develop a very easy, very clear, and very effective ergonomic application that keeps engaged user with main functionality of their well-being. So the first thing is to start with the current point. On the bottom left, you can see the assessment. Assessment means how do I feel in relation to the 5 domains that Małgorzata Żytko described before. For example, I choose physical. And the question is, please rate how healthy and energized your body feels. And you can choose from 0 to 10. Let's say I feel well, 8 to 10. And now you can see the scale at the number 8 of my choice. So mental and emotional. I say not so good because I don't feel balanced or positive mind. Social support. I'm a very social person. Let's say 9 to 10. What about work-life balance? I don't have this ability because if I can to rate my balance in relation to work and personal life, I can see many things are missing. So let's say 3 to 10. And what about your professional development? I have very good professional development, so it's like 8 to 10. So in just 1 minute, I have my current profile of my well-being. And it's very easy to see that the weak points of this well-being profile is the work-life balance and mental and emotional well-being. So I have to do something. I need to find a solution to improve this weakest point of my personality. And what can I do? It's very easy. I have to set some goals. I put goal setting, and after that, let's say go to work-life balance. We have pre-planned some goals, then you can choose one of them, or you can set your own personal goal. One of my favorite goals in this domain is avoid bringing work materials into your bedroom. Okay, I like this goal, and I would like to avoid to bring materials in my bedroom today. So I click here, and now add avoid bringing work materials into your bedroom today. Do you need a reminder to remind you about this goal? Yes, I want. What time do you want to receive the reminder? Let's say 10:30 every day. Okay, and what about the schedule? Okay, let's say for July until end of August. Now I have set my reminder time and my time schedule. So this is the first goal I have set up. I can do it the same, for example, with mental and emotional because this is the second one. Let's say write down one thing you are grateful for today. Again, I need a reminder. Let's say this reminder should be, for example, 9 o'clock at night. And also, I want to put this reminder for 3 months until end of September. Save. And now I have my second goal. If we come to the main screen, then here, goal management at the bottom, you can see your goals. And for example, let's say now it's 10 o'clock at the evening, 10:30, and the reminder comes. Did you achieve your goal? If I say yes, now you can see it started to count 1 to 68 days. So in this way, you can manage your goal. And if you press the cross button on the upper right, then I can set my own personal goal. For example, I can say that I need to physical well-being to improve my physical well-being. Let's say drink 8 glasses of water. Now I have my own goal. And in this way, you can create as many goals as you want. You can set your notification time. You can set your time schedule in order to achieve, to follow, to track your own goals. Apart from this, I need also some information. I need some support according to my weakest point. For example, I want to improve my work-life balance, but I don't know how. Okay, we have the courses. Work-life balance course. We have some classes here. One of them, for example, is time management. I need to know how to manage the time, how to manage my resources. So I put time management. And you see what I need. You see a picture, work-life balance. It's the balance between both of them. So I start the course. You can see some sections. For example, objective. What is the objective of this course? After this, what is the content? So we have a lot of things. We have presentation about this. We have activities we can follow on. We have online quiz. We have a main quiz you can follow and you see if you have got into the subject. So you can check the answer if it's right or wrong, for example, that you can take your final score. And of course, we have the resources with some resources on the internet where all this information is explained in very detailed. It's very helpful and supportive for my classes. So at the moment, you can see that I can acquire my personal profile of well-being profile. I can set my goal. I can follow some classes through the courses. Also, we have insights. What is the insight? The insight is some slogans that maybe sometimes they help us in order to improve our mood. So we see some praise here. Do you do an enjoyable activity with no productivity goal? Or avoid multitasking for the next hour. So, for example, I like this slogan, so I save it, and I can do many times like this. And if I go to my favorite, I can see what is my favorite goals. So time to time, I have to read them in order to support my mood and to keep me on track with my goal and with my courses. The last one is the today task. This is let's say, an emotional reflection of the week. Did you take time to disconnect or rest this week? So you can optionally make some comment, and you can choose from 1 to 5. For example, I feel very bad or I feel excellent. And you will see later on when I present the result of this application, how teachers improve their emotional balance, the emotional well-being using this application. Apart from them, on the upper right corner, you can see the manual. So you can follow everything in a very easy way. And the reports. Reports are very important because they keep us on track. So we start the first week. This is my current position. This is my current well-being profile when I started. And after 1 month, I have the next picture, the next profile after 3 months, after 6 months. So you can see how I improve my domains. I can see how I improved my weakest point. And apart from it, we have some other statistics like goal completion, some milestone. For example, if I have completed goals 7 days in a row, if I have achieved 80% of consistency, I mean using the application every day, if I complete full course, etc. We plan to put much more reports, but at the moment, I think it's more than enough. So this is the application, but the most important thing at the moment is to present the result. I have to Okay, I think now nobody's heard. Give me 1 second, please. Okay. Share properly. Okay, so I will present the evaluation result of this Wellbeing Plus mobile application. Basically, this study examined how a structured digital well-being intervention influenced digital well-being across 4 countries over a 16-week implementation period. So what is the objective of this intervention? The objective was to investigate whether a digital well-being ecosystem could support teachers in improving emotional resilience, self-regulation, and overall quality of life. The platform combined educational material, as you can see on this slide, emotional tracking, mindfulness practices, and personal goal settings in a single accessible environment, specifically tailored for educators. An important aspect of this application was its scalability and accessibility, which allow all the teachers to participate regardless the location or the schedule limitations. So 460 educators from primary, secondary, and preschool educator sectors from countries, 16 weeks, and all the data collection were gathered from directly from the mobile application environment. This allowed us to monitor changes over time and evaluate short-term and also sustainable well-being improvements. This is the most important finding of our project. Using the training course and also the application, we found that there is a highly significant overall improvement in participating well-being. You can see here one factor which is very important, the factor P. The factor P, which is smaller than 0.001. Why this is so important? Because if we're talking about statistical factors, if the intervention actually had zero effect on well-being, then the chances of seeing 38% increase purely by random luck of coincidence is less than 1 in 1,000, which means that the findings are statistically reliable and support the effectiveness of the intervention in promoting well-being improvement. Another important finding is about the progress by well-being domain. You remember that we have 5 domains, and here we can see that the work-life balance and the mental and emotional well-being are the most important or the first priorities, because most of the teachers declare that they need to support these 2 domains, or the weakest point of the teacher are the work-life balance and the mental and emotional well-being. What does it mean for our application? It means that the teacher particularly benefited from tools related to stress management, emotional reflection, and self-organization. This is a weekly emotional tracking, which also revealed a stable upward emotional trend through the interventional period. Participants gradually reported more positive emotions and reduced emotional instability. More than 95% of participants completed at least one educational course, while 98% of them actively engaged in goal settings activities. Teachers who consistently interacted with the application, they had higher well-being improvements compared to users with lower participation levels. The finding also reinforces the importance of self-regulation, accountability, and behavioral consistency in digital well-being intervention. In other words, well-being improvements was strongly connected to active personal commitment and structured habit formation. Another important slide, which means that, although the educational systems and cultural context differ among countries, the intervention model generalized successfully across all cohorts. You can see the mean improvement to all the countries are very similar. The study demonstrated that digital intervention can strengthen occupational resilience, improve emotional health, and support sustainable well-being practices within educational environment. Of course, in the future, we can expand the functionality of the application. For example, the duration of the intervention. We can integrate AI-supported chatbot in order to have personal features, and of course, to adapt the framework for students, school leaders, and other public sector professionals. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vassilis. That was very enlightening. So we don't have that much time. So thank you once again. And now, Markus, Professor Markus Ammann, can we invite you to the floor?
Yes, I'm already here. Good afternoon from my side as well. I just tried to share my screen, and I don't know whether I make it or not.
Yes.
Did I share? Yeah. So what do you see?
Yes,
The presentation.
Only the presentation.
Only the presentation, yes.
Only the first slide. Well, excellent. So then I will try to go quickly through my slides due to the fact that that it is already that there are 5 minutes left, and that we learned from Vassilis that we should not take our working material in our bedroom. So then we try to go through it. What I brought with me today is an approach. We are working here in Innsbruck together with my colleagues, where we try to understand how schools could improve their quality, how schools are able to improve their quality in order to be attractive employers. So what we think is that if you are an attractive employer, if you are an attractive workplace, then your people stay healthy, and then the teachers, the pupils, the whole staff will stay healthy. This is what we call employer branding. So as we already heard, we are faced with crisis. So schools are facing crises in different ways, and those crises have different impact. Most of the time, they have direct and indirect impacts on schools, and lead to crisis in schools too, where schools and the actors, the teachers, the students dealing with those crises sometimes lose structure, sometimes lose control. And what we need to help to do is to help those teachers in schools and the people in schools to manage this crisis, and to to find solutions for them, because those crises result in different problems that probably arise from them. We have generally the problem all across Europe that we have too few trained teachers, which might be a question of mobility too, of regional mobility in some regions. This leads to another problem where we cannot fill places in those schools with trained teachers, which leads to increasing number of career changes. And this is what our project is mainly about. The workload the teachers, the less teachers in the schools need to face leads to health related problems in order to I would say to manage their work-life balances, to manage their health, to manage how they deal with the stress they have. So this leads then in the end to a certain kind of quality problem too. So if we do not have enough trained teachers, if we do not have enough healthy teachers in the system, if we do not have enough healthy persons working in our system, then the overall quality will not be good enough, and then we as education systems do not really reach our targets. Against this background, from our perspective, we think it's necessary that schools need to develop a culture, to develop a surrounding for teachers, for students, where they are recognized as well organized schools as where they are organized as schools which take care of the health of teachers too. So this is what we have in mind when we talk about employer branding. Just to give you a short idea of what employer branding is. Originally, employer branding is a concept coming from the business schools. So originally, employer branding is a concept developed for companies who lack in getting qualified staff, for example, in the tourism branch. So it is what one can say an identity-based internally and externally development and positioning of a company as an attractive employer. And what we do not have in mind, and this is one thing which we observe, especially here in Austria too, that against all the ideas of school development, where we try to help teachers, where we try to help schools, where we try to help principals to develop those schools, over the more or less last 30 years, mainly students were in the focus of those development measures. So all the things students teachers did in schools against the background of school development was because they should be attractive employers, was because that they should be attractive teachers, and the health and the healthy measurements of those and the well-being of the schools was not the main focus. Always the students were in the focus. So employer branding has so far been used almost in commercial enterprises, but not for schools. And what we try and do is to make this strategy fruitful for schools, for school development, where we say that schools also need to develop this culture of attractiveness. What we already know is that schools do not focus on this topic to be an attractive workplace. So we found out that this is not the main spot. We have students, but also teachers with specific ideas about their future workplace, but we not really take in consideration in school development programs how and what these ideas are embedded in school development projects. Self-awareness, opportunities to take career breaks or options for employees to gain future qualifications are important, but we do not recognize them too. And in the end, this leads to a question of well-being, where we also have to address well-being when we do school development. So the main topic would be that if we do school development, then we need to develop a strategy where we internally develop our school and where we position our school externally as an attractive school in order to get more teachers, to get more qualified teachers, and to get teachers who are willing to be part of a community, who are willing to be part of a healthy community, and who really see that as an attractive workplace. So if I want to sum it up, and I really am rushing through it very quick at this moment, then we have, if we do concrete school development against the background of the idea of employer branding, we increase the employee engagement. So if we have good strategies, then hopefully teachers commit to schools. We have a higher level of trust in the company, in the school. This is a question of belonging. Well-being always goes hand in hand with belonging to a community. If we belong to a community, if we have a social exchange, then the chance is higher not to get ill and to get isolated. We have a lower rate of absence than from the workplace, because people, students, teachers belong to a certain community. We have a higher level of loyalty amongst the teachers, amongst the students. In general, they should reach good relations with current and former employees. Decrease in employment fluctuation. So in general, if we have a good school culture and if we have a school culture which takes care of the healthy environment, which takes care of the well-being, then normally the well-being of the teachers, then normally they should stay in the school. And of course, we get the best qualified teachers. Employer branding also has, to a certain degree, external effects. I don't want to go into the deeper point here because time is running. But in general, if we do a good employer branding strategy, then we are known as a school, and this would be the main message, which takes care of the health of teachers, which takes care of the health of pupils, which takes care of the health of principals too. So if we are an attractive school, then the chance is high to get I would say the most interested teachers in our school culture. What does it need? And I want to end with this slide at this moment. What does it need to do this kind of presentation, to do this kind of development? First of all, it needs an evaluation of the desired place of residence of the teacher. So where do the teacher want to be? Where do they want to work? In which schools do they want to work? So we have secondary 1, secondary 2 schools. Where do they live? How do they manage their daily life in getting from the workplace to their homes? We need to identify what makes a certain school for our teachers attractive. So how can they influence, or how can we influence this school selection? We need to make the wishes of teachers visible. What do they wish? What are the ideas? What are their approaches to a school? What is a good school culture for these teachers? What is a bad school culture? And then we should start off with the school development process at that point. I will leave it like that for the moment because we're already 5 minutes over time. Yes, thank you very much. If you're interested in it, then of course we can discuss it in a further meeting or whatever.
Thank you very much, Markus. That was very, very interesting.